Golf is more than a game. It's a mindset. Every shot matters. The calculation, the risk. Where I've been and where I'm going. In the quiet moments and in the spotlight. To have the will to do the work. And the drive to be the best. When I was growing up as a kid, Kobe Bryant and Tiger Woods were my two favorites, and they were just so well known for their work ethic and getting 1% better and just doing what you need to do to chase down crazy dreams. Fix your divots, kids. A lot of people on the internet will be like, I love this new young crop of guys, Will Zalatoris, you know, Colin Morikawa and me, and I'm so much older than them. But it just took me a while to figure it out.
1 decade ago, a golfing prodigy from Los Angeles turned pro at the age of 22, reaching the PGA Tour after just 1 season.
Feels really good to get it done. I feel very validated.
Nearly 10 years later, Max Homa is a household name with 6 career victories and is ranked number 9 in the world.
A champion on the rise.
But his journey has been far from an overnight success.
Hasn't exactly been a straight line, but I think I've learned from every season.
I felt like I lost my card the first year, and I was just like, I just need another shot. I gotta learn, I know what I did wrong, blah, blah, blah. And then I got it back, and then that time I got it back with like a broken swing.
Twice a graduate of this tour. Perhaps the third time will be the charm for Max to stay out there for a long time ahead.
I'm proud of my team and myself for taking the adversity and trying to turn it into learning experiences.
Just enough delusion in there to keep me quite positive that I was going to make it back and figure it all out and this and that.
Born and raised in the City of Angels, Homa adopted Kobe Bryant's Mamba mentality, drawing inspiration from a quote that hung next to his idol's locker by Jacob Riis.
I was really struggling in 2016, 2017, 2018, and I read the quote, and it really just helped me because I wasn't seeing any progress at all. Look at a stonecutter hammering away at his rock, perhaps 100 times without as much as a crack showing in it. Yet at the 101st blow, it will split in two, and I know it was not the last blow that did it, but all that had gone before. I've read that a million times on my phone, so I knew that at some point, it could be a year, it could be 10 years, I was hoping that rock would crumble. You know, at the end of that quote, it says the wise man knows it wasn't the 101st blow that broke that apart like you would think, that one swing, that one light bulb moment, it's the 100 that come before. I just think that really got me through some not so fun times in this game.
Good to see he's going to go back to the PGA Tour.
For the third time.
2019 Wells Fargo, walking up 18 knowing I won the golf tournament after making 2 cuts in 17 tries 2 years prior. That was sweet relief. I think you could see it when I fist pumped. It was a lot of emotion coming out.
How fantastic. Max Homa is a champion on the tour for the first time.
I could set a schedule. I was gonna have a couple of years on tour. That was sweet bliss. And then the one in LA at Riviera for the Genesis, that was the most special. That's why I broke down embarrassingly.
Max Homa, his second win on the PGA Tour on his favorite course, Riviera.
I grew up going to that golf tournament. I wanted to win that golf tournament more than anything my whole life, so to have the opportunity and get it done was the most special and very validating. And then all that have happened after have been quite cool because I just feel like they've been more expected. I didn't feel so overwhelmed.
I think part of it is you need to want it so that when it happens, you're excited. I think that's definitely a part of it to me, in my opinion.
that. What we just say about making big shots when you have to?
Wow.
There are big moments that we build up so much in our head that sure that they can get to us, but if you are excited for the opportunity, I think that you can go and kind of take it on.
A devoted student of the game through the first half of his career, Homa's learnings proved fruitful over the second half, improving his scoring average in each of the past 5 seasons.
When I have weeks now that aren't quite as top-end great, I have become a little bit more well-rounded so that I can still put a pretty good week together.
Live by the mantra and the saying that winners never quit and quitters never win.
Golf's hard, everything's hard. I could go do something great one week and the very next week feel like I've never swung a club, then the week after feel great again. And if I looked at each of those in just a vacuum, I would lose my mind.
Even if I have a bad week, I do feel quite excited to get to the range or get to the short game or get to the putting green and just like fix that. I am addicted to getting better. That's where the progression has come from.
It's all just a part of the journey to whatever your end goal might be. They're all hits to the rock.
With a game sculpted by the stone cutter's credo, Homa is a product of the rocky journey before him. But he has yet to maximize his potential.
I've never been super goal-oriented year to year until the last couple of years. I think because I had kind of made my way back on tour, I felt good about my golf game. Like the things I was searching for a while were just to be a good golfer, be a great golfer, whatever. And started to do that. I'd won, I'd done all these things. As much as those goals may have changed a little bit, it's still the same thing. It's just got a little better every day and trust that what I'm working on is going to get me to what I want.
And for the humble California kid, that's nothing shy of #1 in the world.
When I'm making decisions on how I'm going to practice or if I'm going to practice or anything throughout a day of a golfer, if my response is always, would the best player in the world be doing this? It's a nice North Star. You would be doing yourself a disservice if your goal wasn't to be the best at what you did.
It's been fascinating to start caddying on the PGA Tour in 1990, where virtually nothing was available to the players other than, knowing how many greens they hit in regulation. And now so much of what goes on the tour is data-driven. What's available to these players and to the caddies also is amazing, and you can learn so much about your game and your tendencies. It's game-changing. It's changed everything in terms of how players certainly approach the game, but also what they're thinking about in the days leading up to it. I now caddy for Justin Thomas. Justin's been #1 in the world 3 different times. He's won a couple of majors, but of course you've got, Rahm, Scheffler, McIlroy, you name it. It's a lot of fun to be out there with Justin, trying to beat these guys. There's always highs, there's always lows, peaks, valleys, whatever you want to call them, but the one thing I want to do for Justin is I want to work hard for him. I want to do everything I can to make his life as easy as possible. I want to be prepared, and it's a never-ending process in terms of what you learn and how you apply it, and just want to, be as good a caddy for him as I can. I'm just very grateful to be there with him. All right, let's do it. So much to think about when you're a caddy. You've got to be as prepared as you can possibly be. You can't take anything for granted. Is there a new bunker? Is there a new tree somewhere? Again, you're just looking for everything. You're taking a lot of pictures in your mind, a lot of snapshots, if you will. It's nice for me. I've been doing this for so long. I've been coming to this golf course since 1990, so well over 30 years now, and had a lot of great memories on this golf course. I live here in the area now. It's always so much fun to come out here on one of the weeks when the tournament's not being held. It gives you this incredible appreciation for what goes on out here in terms of the build out and the fact that this site is going to host people, in the several hundred thousands. And it's an interesting tournament to caddy at, given the fact you're at altitude, that all of a sudden it can go from 50 degrees in the morning when you tee off to 75 in the afternoon, and all of a sudden, your irons are going 12 yards further than they were earlier in the day. caddying to me, it's just an incredible experience. You know, I love golf played at the highest level, and certainly I'm not capable of doing that myself, not even close. But to be next to these guys and to watch them do the things that they do, it's just incredibly rewarding. The number one thing I've learned in this game is never underestimate how incredible these players are. I mean, it never ceases to amaze me how these guys can come out, and some of them, many of them, are capable of playing the best golf of their lives on the biggest stage they ever play on. To be there at that moment where they make that putt on 18 and, you know, they raise their arms in triumph. I mean, it's just incredibly rewarding for me, you know, to be out there and witness that in person.
I think that preparation is important, looking at data, and honestly, some things are key to make sure that you're going in the right direction when you practice. And then when you play, you just kind of have to let it go. That's the hard part. If I leave an event, I'll be thoughtful, I'll look at stats, and then I'll think to myself, do those reflect how I actually feel? And then I'll go home and try to attack those areas to make sure that the next week they're better, but it's a game of cat and mouse, they're always moving.
Have that one dialed.
My biggest room of improvement I had the last couple years was around the greens, and so I spent quite a bit of time doing that.
Oh, short. That's why we don't do that in. That's why we don't do that in the tournament as much. To me, it's a very creative space. I like chipping here, and I usually take this little corner because there's a short shot that's short-sided that you could bump into the hill, or you could play a really high one. There's the middle one that's a lot more of just kind of running, kind of choose your shot. You can play a spinning one, you can play a low running one, and then you have this back one on the right from this corner that you're probably gonna need some height and quite a bit of spin to stop. 2 feet. There's your 2 feet.
I think the thing you'd see the most on the range is my wedge work. I try and work the ball a lot on the range. You won't see me hit a ton of the same shot over and over again. I try to move the golf ball all over the place, so it looks kind of like an eclectic practice session.
If I'm working on wedges, it's to get a little bit more comfortable with a 100-yard sand wedge, just to know what that feel is. If we get up to 7-iron, it's to know that the ball's curving the way that I anticipate it to, and that my draws are starting right and that my cuts are starting left. Just getting a little bit better at these things. I don't judge myself too much out here. I'm just trying to hit all these kind of marks that I have.
Hello, sir.
Hey, Bones.
What's happening?
What up? You ready for the heat?
I'm ready. How are you?
Good, how you doing?
Nice to see you.
All right.
What you got for me?
I want to watch you hit, but...
No, well, that's not going to happen. Right to left wind, you got the perfect wind for it.
I know. I've been trying to move the ball a little more to like fix my golf swing, get it more neutral.
I just want to do that once. Just once before I die, Max. Can you help me?
I can help you.
Wow.
I definitely have like my routine, like every day, if I just come to practice here away from a tournament, I'm using something to do wedge numbers, just distance. I feel like that's why these young kids are so good, is because I didn't have this in college. I didn't have launch monitors. I didn't have statistics. I had greens in regulation, putts per round,
right.
Things that don't tell much of a story. It's been nice to have new avenues to learn. Thanks, Bones. I'm fascinated how obsessed you are with the game, like addicted to the game. I know you're one of the greatest caddies, if not the best caddy of all time, but also when we're home, you're searching on your own for your game. So getting to kind of watch from afar, and I know Justin really well, and know that he would not get anything but the best. You ooze like the love of the game, and we try to pick your brain as much as possible. You have a wealth of knowledge, but it has been cool. And then now looking back on all the majors you've won and all the bazillion golf tournaments, it all makes a ton of sense. Very well deserving.
Thank you. It's just been so amazing to see your trajectory as it has gone and where it's going now on the PGA Tour, and to play at the same golf club here in town that we do and spend time together socially. It's amazing. Without question, one of my fondest memories in the last 10 or 15 years of being on the PGA Tour was, as fond of you as I am as a person and as much respect as I have for you within the game, I was so excited to go to the President's Cup last year. I was happy for myself to get to go there with my player, Justin Thomas. I knew that it was going to be your first PGA Tour-related team event. When you made that putt, it's one of the greatest golf memories of my life, and to this day, it's just one of my favorite things I've ever witnessed in golf, and it's a lot of fun being your friend.
Thank you. Yeah, likewise. What I'm extra thankful for with the tour partnering with AWS, so we have things like Tourcast, is the immediacy of how quickly I can look at that.
I just love the fact that you can do so much in real time, and you can leave the 18th hole and there may be some kind of frustration with some part of your game, and right away you have it, there in the palm of your hand.
Everything that we do is built around moving as much data as quickly as possible as we can off the golf course and into the hands of all of our clients, for example, Max Homa. What we do is we use the tools that we have built with AWS so that that data goes from the golf course to the cloud and into his hands and onto his phone within milliseconds as he's practicing and getting ready. And after a round, he then can look back and understand what he's done and adjust his game based on what he's doing so he can improve.
I'll get off rounds, especially when I'm frustrated, and immediately go into the app, go through the stats, go through the numbers, see what I messed up, which helps me prepare for the next day. It's at our fingertips, and it is incredibly useful for us.
The players and the caddies, in my case, having that information and the ability to get to it so quickly just makes you so much better at what you do.
That then tells a story for every fan in the world so that they can find a reason that they care about him and see that story using that data and understand and care about what happened to him on the golf course that day, which is the foundation of sports.
Back in the day, I'd have great weeks, and I'd have terrible weeks. Now I seem to have a lot more consistency, so I'm putting myself in a position to have big time putts, and I've been fortunate to hold quite a few of them, at least this year.
With his short game dialed, Max Homa currently ranks 6th in strokes gained putting, the highest of his career.
Now that I've been playing better, I picture myself in these moments with 8-footers, 10-footers, 12-footers to win holes in team events, to take the lead. And I just think that kind of that dreaming helps you when you have this moment.
What a putt by Max Homa, and what a week it has been. Amped up for his first big-time international team event.
My ultimate highlight in recent memory, for sure, is the President's Cup. Is far and away the most fun I've ever had on a golf course. I just wanted to be on a team so bad, to play for my country. That's all I ever wanted. And then to be in positions where you actually get to excel in that just makes it even more unbelievable.
Boy, as he bloomed into a star, and this could really cement Max Homa in everybody's mind.
Going 4-0, and then putts I made on 17, 18 with Billy to win that match 1-up. Just like dream stuff.
The spotlight grows even bigger on him to put this one away.
That's the part where if I had to go tell myself 10 years ago that you would get to be in this position and do that and have this highlight. As a kid, I feel like I'd be so happy. You always said it on a green as a kid, like, this is to win the Masters, this is to win the President's Cup, Ryder Cup match, and I actually had that opportunity. So that was, yeah, it's been a cool road. I have been fortunate enough to win golf tournaments on some pretty awesome golf courses. Torrey Pines, most recently, a course I love that's very difficult, it's demanding. So it's been fun getting to pull off shots. My favorite shot I probably ever hit is a 4-iron on 16 this year at Torrey in the final round.
Started off on a very aggressive line, fading right at the hole. Oh, what a shot! That is impressive.
Growing up, watching the guys play on PGA Tour, especially, Tiger, and that's a staple golf tournament, especially being a kid from California. So to have success there was sweet.
Max Homa
Another win on California soil.
And now he finds himself in the upper echelon of golfers on the PGA Tour.
With Homa's game ranking among the best in the world, his rise is a true testament to the grind over his 10-year career.
He's got a lot of scar tissue. It's been tough working through the past mental demons, but he's found some optimism. Finally feels confident again, rejuvenated.
When I stack up the days looking back and actually seeing how they went, just being able to jump from 10 years ago to now, I would be very proud of what I've accomplished. I'm looking forward to doing more things, but yeah, winning out here is hard. To do that 6 times is another thing I'm very, very proud of.
It's weird. Part of me is shocked I'm doing this from where I came from, and another part of me just wishes I was doing better, so it's just a crazy game.
I guess that's sports in a way. I'm really happy with what I've done, and I'm also disgusted I haven't done more. I'm very thankful for sure of where I have been, where I've come from, and all the things I've learned along the way. So it's been quite a fun journey.